Chair Meek, Vice Chair McLean, members of the committee, good morning. My name is Jeff Golden. I represent Senate District 3, which is much of the Rogue Valley in Southern Oregon. And I'll take the time that Mr. Olenek left on the table for me to talk about this bill. I will start with a trigger warning. Senate Bill 1177 proposes to redirect a pending income tax kicker. It is a kicker redirect bill. I realize just the word kicker has radioactive heat in this building, and my hope is that before any minds close, we have a chance to consider the magnitude of the opportunity we have here and the magnitude of the contribution we could make to the health, safety, and well-being of Oregonians forever, or as close to forever as anything we do in this building. This is about wildfire. You probably know about the massive work group that met intensively over the interim. They were charged with finding a funding source to protect our communities from the kind of devastation we are seeing around the West every single year now. I served along with Senator Girod and 2 House members as ex officio to that group. Not bad, I arranged that. Their recommendations were piled into an unusual bill that House Revenue is now considering. I imagine you'll be examining it soon, and you should probably evaluate that bill's viability before making a decision on this one. If the bill from the House has the kind of problems that some folks are describing, I want you to have the alternative that this bill offers. Here's how it would work. You'll remember we recently got an estimate of a pending $1.73 billion kicker. That estimate will be refreshed by The Economist next month. This proposal invests all of that into a permanent fund managed by the Treasury for the best low-risk return. The principal of that fund, $1.7 to $1.8 billion, whatever it turns out to be, would never be touched. The interest that it earns would perpetually pay for wildfire prevention and suppression. So a 5% return on that investment, and based on the Treasury's track record, that's a prudent and safe estimate, would yield between $170 and $180 million per biennium for wildfire programs. You have on the screen, I'm going to guess, the simplest chart you're going to see in this committee this session. It makes the point that this one-time investment, I think we handed it out too because the print's small on the screen, but the one-time investment, this coming biennium of $1.73 billion would provide us with that $170 to $180 million every single biennium through this century and beyond, if Oregon government is still around, without taking a dime from the general fund that holds Oregonians' tax dollars. Some weeks ago, I wrote an opinion column that drew, describing this proposal. It drew mixed reviews from readers. Some think it's a terrific idea. Those are my personal favorites, but I don't have time to read them to you today. There were, though, a couple emails that said, the kicker is my money. Figure out a way to deal with wildfire without taking my money. Well, this is the public's money in exactly the same sense that all tax dollars are their money. These are just tax dollars that they've already paid. But there's a more important misconception I want to address here. If we pass Senate Bill 1177, we will use Oregonians' dollars one time to fund roughly half of our wildfire needs. If we don't pass it, we'll be back here scooping up their tax dollars or lottery dollars for wildfire every 2 years, again and again and again. This is the only option on offer that's a one-and-done way to pay the major portion of our wildfire costs. I don't think we need to apologize to anyone if we pass this measure. We can look our constituents in the eye and say, essentially, yes, this one time we're investing kicker dollars that would have gone to you next year into a permanent fund that will keep us from coming back to you every 2 years for the rest of your life to ante up for wildfire. I want to condition that by saying The projected amount here in itself is not enough to cover the whole wildfire bill, but at this moment, more than half. We can say we're investing, all of us, into what's probably the most cost-effective insurance policy any of us will ever see. In the bigger picture and in closing, Mr. Chair, I want to reflect on why we do this work. What moves us all to seek public office? There are obviously all kinds of answers to that, but I think there's one that unites all of us. Every one of us electeds in this building would love to make a solid, long-lasting contribution to the quality of life of the people we serve. I don't know if we'll ever get an opportunity as clear as this one to say, with a single vote, and it might be a hard one, I know I've played a meaningful part in keeping Oregonians safe and secure for a long, long, long time. Senate Bill 1177 offers us a very rare opportunity, Mr. Chair. I hope we have the fortitude to take it. Thank you for the opportunity to describe this bill.
Thank you, Senator Golden. Welcome. And then Representative